Australia, a barren land adverse to weather extremes. In this uninviting landscape lives a host of tough Aussie battlers. Like this little guy, a rare macropod living life on the brink of extinction. Let me introduce you to the Bridled Nail-Tail Wallaby, possibly one of the cutest and shyest wallabies around. Now, John, obviously you're very interested in the status of this very unique little marsupial out in the wild where it lives. So tell me a bit about its background though, because it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's an amazing little wallaby. They live in central Queensland, and they're currently classified as endangered, but we thought they were extinct. We discovered the species in 1973, and it's quite an interesting story. There was a local fencer that was working on Taunton, which is the national park where they're now found, and he happened to notice an article in one of the women's magazines and identified the wallaby and recognised it, and the rest is history. That's where the whole program kicked off.
It's pretty amazing. I love that story. Not being one to stand by and watch the decline of the species, John and his team decided to do something. Joining forces with Tina, they set out on an expedition of matchmaking. Tina, now you've got the really important and also really interesting job of matchmaking with these wallabies. Tell me about how you do it.
Okay, so we choose male and female to come together to make a baby, and that's done from a DNA sample.
All right. Now, how do you take the DNA sample?
So that's a really small punch that's taken from the ear, and that's sent away to the university, and they send us back the information as to who the best pairs are to put together.
I love it. So this is all about maintaining genetic diversity, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. It's very important when you have a small population that's so endangered. It's very important that you get the breeding exactly right.
Okay, I love the setup here. You've got very specific sort of enclosures, haven't you?
Sure, we've got large pens where the animals go for resting or the babies go for growing once they're weaned, and we've got our breeding pens behind us, and that's where our pairing happens to make our babies.
To make sure these mini macropods are right to reproduce, we need to give them a quick health assessment. Okay, so now Tina, I believe that you and Pete have got this little girl. She's basically having her final health check before she goes in for mating, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So you've done your matchmaking.
Yep.
Okay, so what are you looking at, her teeth?
I'm just having a look at basically her incisors, that nothing broken. You can see her gums are beautiful and pink. Her eyes are clear, so she's got nice clean eyes.
Yes.
And of course, my job now is to body score her around the base of her tail, which I'll attempt to do.
This is making sure she's in good condition.
Yeah, so we do a score by feeling for the vertebrae, and you have a feel. You can't feel the vertebrae there poking out.
No, she feels really nice, and she's got plenty of flesh on the bones.
Yes,
there. Yeah.
So that gives her a nice high body score, which means she's in good condition to be able to carry a pouch young. A very small nail there.
Yep.
Can feel it. It's very bony, and
yep.
So she's a young animal and got a small nail.
Well, she's going to do a wonderful job for her species. So do you reckon she's going to go in? You're going to put her in?
So we'll put her into breeding tonight, and tomorrow night we'll trap and catch her male. And then hopefully within 6 weeks we'll have a new bub.
Good news.
It is.
There you go.
It's clear that these wallabies have a passionate team behind them.
You move your head.
Why do you invest so much time and so much energy into this shy little species?
I think it's really important, being an endangered species. I think we need to do our bit, and that'll ensure that they're here for future generations, and also for the ecosystem that they belong in. It's very important. So yeah, I wake up every morning feeling good, knowing that I'm doing my bit.